how do you combine honor and accountability from your POW, your leadership, and personal experiences? Honor and accountability.
We had memorized, all the military people back then had memorized, and probably today, the Code of Conduct, 6 articles of the Code of Conduct that said you will be faithful, you'll be faithful to your country, you'll resist the enemy, and you'll be faithful to your fellow POWs. It's written after the Korean War. They didn't have that, and a lot of the people collaborated with the communists in the Korean War. And so we had all memorized that, and that we were going to be loyal to our country and never share anything with the communists, with our captors, and that we were going to be faithful to each other and take care of each other and obey the commands of our boss. That was very important for us because, and our leaders took the most torture, and they were in solitary confinement for 4 years. They were there 7.5 years. I was only there 5 years, 5.5 years. And they were there 7.5 years. And so when they bounced back, and they were such a great example, and they communicated to us we had a motto, return with honor. It started out as resist, survive, return with honor. And that was our motto. But one of our leaders, the early leader, General Robbie Risner, said, be a good American, live by the Code of Conduct. Resist up to the point of permanent damage, physical or mental damage, and then go ahead and give in, give as little as possible, and bounce back. Because they were trying to torture us for information about our base or whatever. We didn't know what was going to be flown, missions are going to be flown the next day or the next hour. And they were trying, really what they wanted was, they wanted us to make propaganda for them, because they could use it to fight against the war back home and say, oh, POWs said the war is bad, you know. That's what they were trying to get. And so, and then bounce back to resist again. Bounce back. Bounce back. You know, when you suffer, you got to learn to bounce back. And then pray every day, go home proud, return with honor. And that, you know, when you have an organization and you have a few things about what to do, and the people at the lowest level know those, they're going to probably serve you well. And that was really powerful for us. And I got to know Colonel Risner. He's one that put that, he was senior leader, put that out. He lived, he was there 7.5 years. He lived 3 months short of 89. And he had been an ace in the Korean War. He was a famous fighter pilot, and he was humble and he was confident. And that's what you got to be.
If you've ever met fighter pilots, we don't lack confidence. That's one thing we don't lack in any time, in any place. I think one of the points that, you know, what I think about when Lee says this is clarity. It's clarity of what's important to you as the leader and for the organization. And if you don't tell your folks what's important, they're going to think everything's important. And they're going to try to make everything important. So sometimes you have to say, this, for whatever this is good enough. Whatever this is, better is what I'm searching for. And very rarely you might say, I need you to be perfect here.
Right.
Very rarely. Mm-hmm. But if you do that, if you give some priorities and you give some guidelines to those that you're leading, and you give it in that kind of an order, they'll understand where to put their priorities. The idea that I don't have to be perfect in everything. There's some stuff I can just do good, right? And it helps them to be much more effective.